Hi folks, and welcome to Digital Market Live. Today is the 20th of April, Thursday afternoon. The time is 12:40 and the markets are absolutely flat. At the benchmark level, in the index level, there is no change in any of the indices, just meandering, flip-flopping between the red and the green line as we speak. And this has so far been the market over the last couple of days. The markets have been respecting a broad 300-point range. To simply say it, at the upper end, it's a trading range of about 17,850, and at the way down, it's 17,550. This is the broad 300-point range that the markets have been respecting. These were the markers put in place in Monday's trade, and over the last 3 days, we haven't managed to breach it. The intraday action, well, we opened up on the quieter side, then we had a bit of a surge in the first 15 minutes, then a fall from 9:45 to 10:45 where the markets gave up all their intraday gains, and since then, as I said, we've been meandering between the red and the green line, pretty flat. The mid-cap index is seeing a relative outperformance. Again, the word is relative because it's just up close to about 0.2%, but this bit by bit relative outperformance is adding up now. So week to date, that's from Monday to Thursday, the mid-cap index is up close to about 1.2% at a time when the Nifty is down 1.2%, which basically means the mid-cap index is outperformed by nearly 2.5% this week. The advanced decline ratio, so far at least, is holding up in favor of the gaining side. Asia this morning is seeing some narrow cuts. The Korean markets, the Taiwanese markets, the Singaporean markets are down close to about 1/3 of a percentage point. Let's take you through some of the big cues. One, crude prices have seen a decline, down 2% on a day-on-day basis. So crude prices are now at $82.50 per barrel. It's the weekly options expiry. In terms of the earnings calendar, today you've got HCL Tech, Cyient, ICICI Pru reporting numbers. Tomorrow you've got Reliance Industries, and then on Saturday you've got ICICI Bank, Yes Bank, Macrotech Developers and MapMy India. So the earnings picture is going to be picking up as the day progresses. Let's run you through some of the big movers. Excuse me. Well, Tata Motors is higher in trade, and that's up over 1%. They have accelerated their electric path. They've planned a massive investment of £15 billion over the next 5 years. They want to reposition the company as an electric-first, modern luxury car maker by 2030. Excuse me. Sorry. And they've also indicated that they target to be net cash positive by FY25 and have a double-digit EBITDA by 2026. And you know, Tata Motors' JLR plans of going electric also comes at a time when Tesla disappointed the street yesterday. Remember, Tesla missed the revenue mark because it cut prices in China. So that contrast is quite telling, and brokerages seem to be lapping on to Tata Motors. Apart from that, you've got the other auto names which are moving up. So Maruti Suzuki is up 0.5%, M&M is up close to about 0.3%. In fact, the Nifty Auto Index has a gain of close to about 0.6%. Today, there is a JP Morgan note which has come out on autos where they're saying the rural demand is catching up with urban. The momentum is improving, inventory levels remain healthy, the share of top 10 cities continues to rise across passenger vehicles and two-wheelers, and they're saying even the two-wheeler segment where demand is not caught up with the pre-COVID levels, momentum is improving and inventory remains healthy. So sounding a bit of a bullish note on autos this morning, JP Morgan, and that's fueling a rally. Apart from that, amongst the gainers, you've got Adani Ports. In fact, that's the top Nifty gainer today, a 1.5% rally. Power names like NTPC, Power Grid are holding up quite smartly, and IT is making a comeback right now. IT started off in the back foot, but right now you've got a Tech Mahindra which is up close to about 1%. Wipro has moved up 0.6%. HCL Tech, what a rally it's had. You know, it's at the high point of the day, but HCL Tech has recovered 1.5% from the day's low. Remember, HCL Tech reports their numbers today. On the losing side then, let's run you through some of the big losers. Divi's Laboratory is the top Nifty loser, 3.5% down. But this comes on the back of a nearly 18% rally from Monday to Wednesday. So some profit taking visible there. Profit taking also visible in Eicher Motors. Again, a big mover, 10% gain over the last, in this month itself. So today some profits are being taken off the table when it comes to Eicher Motors. In fact, the rest of the pharma pack is also a bit subdued in trade. So it's not just Divi's Laboratory, Dr. Reddy's, Sun Pharma, Cipla, all of them struggling in trade, but it's just pure profit taking. Pharma has seen a lot of buying interest. There's been heightened interest by brokerages because the valuations are looking far more reasonable. It's got a defensive angle to pharma. Pharma seen buying, but today there is a bit of a pause. Steel, the sector of yesterday, is seeing a bit of a pullback right now. So JSW Steel is down a little more than 1%, and a couple of these FMCG names like Britannia, HUL, Nestle have moved to the low point of the day with a cut of close to about 1%. Outside of the index, the star today is Mastech. A massive 13% up move in Mastech, and this is on the back of their Q4 numbers. Very solid set of Q4 numbers, 5.3% quarter-on-quarter revenue growth. The expectations were for a 2% growth. Year on year, the number is now approaching, the growth rate is approaching a 20% growth. Order book has picked up sequentially by 5%. Margins have improved by 50 basis points. The management commentary is upbeat. They're talking about aspiring to achieve high teens margin, 18 to 19%, beating the industry growth rate in FY24. So Mastech is looking good on all fronts, and the stock has rallied in trade. Another one in terms of earnings reaction, and if you could pull that up for you, is Tata Communications. Now, Tata Communications is also up 3.5%. The earnings were a margin miss. Margins declined by 120 basis points for Tata Communications owing to higher employee costs. But despite that, the stock is moving up in trade. One, because it had fallen prior to the numbers. From Monday to Wednesday, Tata Communications stock was down 6%. So the street was positioned for a weak set of earnings. They got a weak set of earnings, but again, not too bad, and which is why you are seeing a relief rally in Tata Communications. Also, the company seemed to suggest that the deal funnel is still very much intact. Funnel is basically a pipeline despite the macro uncertainty. Their debt levels too have fallen on a quarter-on-quarter basis. ICICI Securities is a big drag in trade. Stock is down close to about 4.5%. Revenue growth at just 0.7%, profits are down 7%, and the numbers are also a big contrast compared to Angel One, where the numbers were pretty healthy. So I think, when you just compare the two numbers, ICICI Bank's performance looks far poorer, and it's come in for selling pressure. Their broking volumes have slowed down due to a decline in the retail equity volumes, and even their advisory revenues have taken a big hit this time due to a fall in the primary market activity. So it's a combination of both factors which is hurting ICICI Securities. Stocks to watch, Cyient in the mid-cap IT space because it reports numbers today, and Cyient ahead of numbers is up close to about 1.4%. The street is going to watch whether the company achieves its guidance. The guidance was for Q4 organic constant currency revenue growth to be better than Q3. Can they achieve it? So Cyient is seeing some buying interest, and HCL Tech as well ahead of numbers is moving up. But the story today in the broader markets is that of consumer names. So hotel stocks are looking good, whether it's Kamath Hotels, Lemon Tree, Royal Orchid. Not just that, you've got other consumer names like Indigo Paints, Sula Vineyards, Som Distilleries, where the company had a capacity expansion yesterday that they announced. Rupa and Company, the innerwear company, primarily for men. That's where really the action is. So sectoral rotation is continuing in the market as the broad range is respected. And in that sectoral rotation today, the flavor of the market are these mid-cap, small-cap, consumer-oriented companies, and this is taking place across the sectors. At the index level, pretty unchanged right now. The Nifty is at 17,610, just a cut of 8 points on the Nifty, while the Sensex is up 22 points. Thank you very much for listening to this update. I hope you found it insightful. This is all the market action that's taking place right now. Stay with CNBC TV 18 on the channel, on our digital platforms for more news and updates. I'm signing off right now. Thank you very much for listening.